Hey, just to start off, I'd like to thank Ryan Poles and uh, our pro scouting department for bringing in what you guys asked me about. I think it was last week about Yannick. Would he be coming in, and would I be excited about a new piece, a pass rusher? And I would say hats off to our department. There way there's way more that goes into that than I realized. With the negotiations with bringing someone to Chicago. So hats off to them. We're excited for him to be here in Chicago and be a part of the Monsters of the Midway. So with that, I'll open up with questions.
When you said that you learned that there's way more that goes into it, is that did you need that because you were a little bit impatient too, that you were waiting for a pass rusher?
No, you know what? I've been over the years. I've learned to just be whatever they give us. We're going to work with it, and we're going to coach them up, and we're going to develop guys. That's just been part of my background to develop whoever you have, and then when you get another piece to the puzzle, you're excited. You work with that piece, but not really. I like who we have, and we're just that's a bonus.
Alan, it's very unlikely that they would have made this kind of move a year ago going into last season. What does it tell you about the ambition that Ryan Poles has for the upcoming season to make that move?
I don't even look at it that way. I just say that each year we just try to add pieces to make us better, and every year we're adding pieces. It could be a free agent to help us to upgrade a guy on the practice squad. It could be the middle of the roster. We're turning it over. We're churning it over. Every position, everywhere, we're trying to get better. So I don't look at it as, hey, last year, this year. I just look at, hey, he can help us. He was available, and he's here, and we're glad.
Big picture wise, when you look at the secondary and what a move like this does, being able to fortify the pass rush, how is that going to help? Is it going to maybe take some responsibilities off their plate on the back end of the defense?
Well, we've already improved. We improved outside and in the middle, and I think it just that part helps for sure. If you remember last year, towards the end of the year, it was 5-man, 6-man, 7-man pressure, and you'd like to be able to go 4-man pressure and get to the quarterback. So that's a piece of the puzzle. I'd hope that would improve our 4-man rush, getting to the quarterback, and with some veteran experience. We've been talking about it's a race to maturity. So it's a guy that has some experience, that has some experience in terms of production, hitting the passer. So that'll help our young guys also.
Eddie Jackson, Eddie Jackson told us that defensively they're going to continue poking at the offense until they fought back. Today he kind of set the tone early with that hit on Chase. What do you think about that? What did that do for the defense? How do you feel about one of your leaders kind of doing that in general?
Well, I love a lively practice. I mean, I love, I'm not concerned about, the offense. I have my hands full for sure, just being the coordinator, but I love our energy. I love the way we run to the ball. But I would say this, that we are to make sure that it's competitive, not combative. And so that means that we are competing. We want to be elite competitors, elite guys, and how we compete, but we don't want it to be combative. So I don't like the pushing and shoving after the whistle. When they let us do that in the ball game, hey, we'll be all for it in practice. So part of it is playing hard, playing fast, playing with energy. I love the chippiness that says that we're establishing an identity. But the after the whistle stuff, I'm not for that part.
Alan, and Eddie was mentioning yesterday the different feel he has this year on defense compared to last year and the excitement level he has. How does adding a guy like Yannick maybe elevate your expectations for this unit?
I don't think it does because my expectations were high to start off with. What we try to do is temper, or not even temper, that we develop our expectations before the season, and we don't let outside influences say, hey, you got to do this or you got to do this here. We already had high expectations that the guys that we had were enough to win ball games, to develop. So that is again, Yannick is he's an extra piece to the puzzle that we have.
Did you think that Eddie's hit on Chase was late?
I'll wait to see the video, the film, and see. I don't think I'll wait and look at the tape and see. We have good ball players. We have good decision makers. So I would say with Eddie's a phenomenal decision maker. So I would say before I look at the film, I hope not.
To what extent does Ngakoue give you kind of pass rush certainty that will allow you to change the way you do things defensively? Maybe be more aggressive, or just, what does he change?
Yeah.
A guy, like I said, that gives you some pass rush certainty.
Yep, just being able to get to the quarterback with four guys, and then so you're changing up the looks. Sometimes you're bringing pressure so that you get one-on-one. Sometimes you're a four-man rush. Sometimes five-man pressure. So it instead of being like this, it opens up to this in terms of the things that you can do and put pressure on the offense to block him and block the other guys that we have.
You paid him to get after the quarterback. How do you evaluate him as a run defender?
He'll be just fine. No, he'll be just fine. He can choke a guy out. Believe me about that. He will. He can choke a guy out, and that's our first thing, that we're going to stop the run and earn the right to rush the passer. So he'll be part of that too. The mentality of making sure that we stop the run. He'll be just fine. I've watched the tape, and he'll choke a guy out too.
Is it an overreaction then? Like for the last couple of years, he, at least statistically, it's shown that he's struggled against the run. Is that overblown, would you say?
Yes, and yes. He'll be just fine in the run.
Is that in part because he is, as the initial, he's paid to knock the quarterback down?
I think you can do both. Some people would like to say, hey, this guy is a pass rusher, just like they say, hey, this guy's a cover corner. In the NFL, you have to do both. Your skill set may be higher one place than another, but I don't think he gets enough credit for doing what he does in the run game. If you look at the tape, he's been productive enough to win football games.
That's a reps chart, still a reps chart, not a depth chart. But as Terrell and Tyreek have continued to split reps, how have you seen Tyreek handle, splitting reps with Terrell?
Fine. You know what? Rookies, I'm not sure they know any better. It's hey, coach said do this, and so I'm going to do this. They've been fine. They embrace it. They look after each other. They're good teammates. So they've been just fine with that. Not one iota of hey, I should be in here, or I shouldn't, or why is this? They're just fine.
What has Edmonds been like when he's not participating?
Excuse me?
Edmonds, Jermaine Edmonds.
Uh-huh.
When he's not participating out there,
Yeah.
how has he stayed engaged? And is there any concern, with a couple of weeks until week one, that he's not out there getting reps?
I'd love him to be out there. Zero concern. What does he do? You still see the leadership show up. You still see the energy show up. You still see him looking and talking to the younger guys. So that's kind of the mark of a leader. When they can't be out there, when they can't do, what do they do with themselves? It's like when you go, hey, what does a receiver or running back do when they don't have the ball in their hands? What do you do when you're not the guy that's in the huddle? And so he's still leading, he's still coaching, he's still encouraging. In the locker room, the guys say, I heard the other day, hey, coach, he's the real deal. You still get the leadership when he's not out there. So that's what we want. That's what we're getting.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.